We're just about ready for the pre-game ceremonies here at the Forum.
Bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs. Bienvenue au Forum de Montréal. C'est avec fierté que la brasserie Labatt et Hockey Canada vous présente la Coupe Canada Labatt 1987. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Montreal Forum as Labatt Breweries and Hockey Canada proudly present this 1987 Labatt's Canada Cup. Le match de ce soir, premier de la série finale entre l'équipe de l'Union soviétique et l'équipe Canada. Tonight's game, the first of the finals, 2 out of 3, between Team Soviet Union and Team Canada. Voici maintenant les officiels pour le match de ce soir. Here are the officials for tonight's game. The referee, l'arbitre, Mr. Don Kowarski from Canada. Les juges de ligne, the linesman de l'Union soviétique from the USSR, Monsieur Mikhail Galinovsky. Des États-Unis from the United States, Mr. Kevin Collins. Voici maintenant l'alignement débutant pour l'équipe de l'Union soviétique. Now the starting lineup for Team Soviet Union. Dans les filets, in the nets, le numéro 1, number 1, Sergei Milinkov. À la défense, on defense, le numéro 2, number 2, Vyacheslav Fetisov. Le numéro 7, number 7, Alexei Kazatonov. À l'aile droite, at right wing, le numéro 9, number 9, Vladimir Krutov. Au centre, at center, le numéro 11, number 11, Igor Larionov. Et à l'aile gauche, at left wing, le numéro 24, number 24, Sergei Makarov. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Mr. Viktor Tikhonov. Les assistants, the assistant coaches, Mr. Igor Dmitriev et Vladimir Yorzinov. Et maintenant, l'alignement débutant pour l'équipe Canada. The starting lineup for Team Canada. Dans les filets, in the nets, le numéro 31, number 31, Grant Pure. À la défense, on defense, le numéro 2, number 2, Doug Crossman. Le numéro 7, number 7, Raymond Bourque. À l'aile gauche, at left wing, le numéro 11, number 11, Marc Messier. À l'aile droite, on right wing, le numéro 12, number 12, Mike Gardtner. Au centre, at center, le numéro 99, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Mr. Mike Keenan. Les entraîneurs adjoints, the assistant coaches, Monsieur Jean Perron, John Butler et Tom Watt. Mesdames et messieurs, comme c'est la coutume au hockey international, les capitaines des deux équipes procéderont maintenant à un échange de cadeaux au nom de leurs équipes. As it is the custom in international hockey, the two captains will now exchange gifts on behalf of their teams.
At the Forum in Montreal, the Soviet Union and Canada. Sergei Melnikov starting in goal. A 4-0 record and a very impressive 1.75 goals against average. Grant Fuhr, 4 victories and a tie and a 2.67. The Edmonton Oilers goaltender starting for Team Canada tonight.
And the starting lineups for the game. There you see the way they'll line up the so-called green unit for the Soviet Union, centered by Larionov, Gretzky, Messier, Gardner. Up front for Team Canada, Bork and Crossman on the defense. Powerhouse on both sides.
Don Koharski ready to drop the puck and start game 1 of this best-of-3 series. In round-robin play, these teams played a tie at the Cup-87 in Hamilton. Here we go with Gretzky against Larionov. Game 1 is underway, and Bork fires it off the boards down into the Soviet zone. Fetisov back to get it, and as soon as he touches it, it's an icing call against Team Canada. And the face-off comes all the way back into the Canadian end of the rink.
There's Sergei Svetlov. He has a broken arm, suffered in the first shift of the game the other night, the semifinal game. It's nice of him to stand up and show us his broken arm for us. A fine young player, and in the second intermission, we're going to have Sergei joining Dan Matheson to talk to him. He's just a terrific player, and one of those players I think that we're going to see a great deal of in the future, especially coming up with the Olympics. Claude Lemieux, Kevin Dineen, Rick Tocchet are the injured, but Tocchet is in the lineup tonight. Svetlov, as we mentioned, along with Kravchuk for the Soviet Union.
Face-off. Deep in Team Canada zone. We've played just 6 seconds. Larionov against Messier, who won the draw. Bork flipping it out. Makarov knocks it down, and back goes number 11, Mark Messier. To Doug Crossman, number 2. Ahead to Bork, number 7. Feeding it to Mike Gardner, number 12. And that's Fetisov coming up to break it up. Now Bork intercepting a pass. Fetisov knocks it down for the Soviets to Krutov. Bork back for Canada, and as he tried to clear it, it went off Krutov's stick, and Fuhr had to catch it and held it. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
There are the two semi-kindly coaches, Mike Keenan, and of course Viktor Tikhonov, who's been under fire in the Soviet Union. His team is not winning. And when you're under fire by former superstars like Alexander Yakushev and Anatoly Firsov, I guess it's like being coach of the Montreal Canadiens and having Rocket Richard on your back. It's a little tough, so he's a little tentative as far as his position is concerned.
Here's Canada with Coffey feeding Gretzky. Gretzky dumping it in. Gusarov back to try and clear it, and here's Beckhoff, number 27, over to Homatov, number 15. He drops it to Stelno. Shot behind the goal. Now Lomakin, number 23. Got it in front, cleared away by Coffey. Sutter trying to get it out of there, held in by Stelno, centered, and that shot blocked in the slot area by Coffey. Here's Gretzky to Brent Sutter. Canada on the attack, back to Gretzky, pass through the crease, and the Soviets come back, but Coffey with that speed, able to come back and break it up. And then as he cleared it in, it's offside at the Soviet Union blue line.
Great play by Coffey coming back. He left the ice during the pregame ceremony. He's got some problems with his skate or his padding. I don't know what it was. He went back to the dressing room. I'll tell you, it can't be the skates the way he flew on that last shift. He was down in deep, came back and broke up a play, and eventually sent it back into the Soviet zone to cause the offside here. Tempo of the game very high early, Dan.
No score. We've played 1 minute and 20 seconds. Here is the Soviet defenseman Verbuchen firing it out to center. Now Canada coming back. Here comes Mario Lemieux. Shoots one. Wide of the net. Gardner in to chop at the rebound, but couldn't get it. And Samak feeding it into center ice for Lomakin, number 23. He's upended by Rochefort, number 5. And this is Rochefort carrying to Mario Lemieux. Into Gardner. Shoots. He scores!
One by Rochefort, and then this little tip ahead for Gardner, who got the march on the defense, and then let it go right along the ice. Here it is. Great view of it here. Just a slapper. And he does that so often for the Washington Capitals, says Gardner.
Gardner's second goal of this Canada Cup, 1:49 the time. And Canada, which has, through this tournament, started slowly in each game, takes the early lead. That could be a factor. Here's Priyakin now for the Soviets, tied up by Murphy. And it's Patrick trying to get it out for Canada. Couldn't. Batissa lifted in front. Blocked by Doug Gilmour, and then Gilmour able to poke it up on the wing, and then he finishes it off by clearing it to center. And Chinop back to his own line. Here are the Soviets now with Himalev shooting it in. Back is Paul Coffey. Quickly out to Patrick on right wing, number 6. Now back to Murphy. Patrick, by the way, is playing up as a forward tonight because of injuries to right wingers like Claude Lemieux and Kevin Dineen. So it's Gretzky out there with Gilmour and Patrick as a forward line. Now here's Priyakin moving it in on left wing. Got nowhere near the net by the Soviets. Canada trying to get it out. Howardchuk dropping it back for Bork. Here's Bork to Gretzky. Gretzky on the fly has Anderson with him. Gretzky bumped by Kasatonov and knocked off the puck. Gretzky back up. Taken out again by Kasatonov and then upended. And the Soviets come to center. Krutov, number 9. Leaving it for Makarov, number 24. Back on the point. Gusarov check. Canada trying to break away. But Gusarov will get a penalty here for pulling down Glenn Anderson. It'll be a holding call. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Gusarov forced to take a holding penalty as Glenn Anderson was trying to break out of the zone, and he had a bit of a jump on the defenseman. He just hauled him down rather than let the break occur. Kasatonov is one of the strongest men in this tournament. There is no penalty on this, but watch all of this now. Gretzky goes down earlier. Just prior to that, he took a pretty good hit from Kasatonov as well. Not used to getting roughed up like that, but again, he's a hard guy to catch, and that's one of the reasons.
Canada with the man advantage. They've had 7 power play goals in this tournament and 24 chances. Tournament leading 29% with the man advantage. And Canada with the first man advantage of this game. Here's Makarov trying to work in. Taken out by Bork and Paul Coffey. Has it for Team Canada, giving it to Bork. To Mario Lemieux. Now to Messier with Gretzky. Back to Lemieux. Shoots. Big save. Melnikov. Gretzky after the rebound. But the Soviets are able to clear it out of there. And then Messier pounded Krutov into the boards with a heavy check. Going back is Gretzky to Bork. Bork over for Coffey. Now to Lemieux. To Gretzky. Gretzky. Cross to Messier. Back to Gretzky. Backhander. Just went wide. Pretty passing. Krutov clears it. Canada with 1:10 left in the Soviets' penalty. Coffey into Bork to Lemieux, but it's offside at the Soviets' blue line.
Gretzky got a little bit of a jump on the far side. Fans didn't think so. I think they were looking at Lemieux, who took the pass. So it's still 1-0 Canada. They continue on the power play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Well, there's big Mario Lemieux, who's already got a point in this hockey game. It looks like he is right on it again tonight. I'll play him left wing right now.
That scoring play was Gardner from Lemieux and Rochefort. 1:49. Canada with 1 minute left. In Gusarov's penalty, still with the man advantage. Here is Bork to Messier. Mark Messier speeding in. Leaves it for Gretzky. Trying to drop it to Bork. Bork against Bekov in the corner, and Batisov clears it into center ice. And here come the Soviets. 1-on-1 with only Coffey back. Homotop, number 15. Sidesteps Coffey. Feeds Bekov, number 27. Mario Lemieux trying to tie him up. Batisov moving in. His shot hit Bork. And Canada's Messier firing it out to Gretzky. Long pass to Lemieux, too far for him. Lemieux racing in against Fetisov. Now Lemieux gets it to Gretzky. Gretzky checked by Beckhoff, and here's Fetisov into center ice with Lomakin. Fetisov overskated the puck, and that put the play offside at Team Canada's blue line. 10 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, Mario Lemieux right up there at the top of the scoring race in this tournament. As a matter of fact, with the point, he has now tied Gretzky for the tournament lead. This first Canada Cup has been a brilliant one. I think all reviews have been very positive. Eddie Johnson saying the other night that he thought that Mario Lemieux's presence here is helping him just to be around this type of player, to recognize what leadership means. And he has certainly taken over the role, along with Gretzky, for Team Canada.
Still 10 seconds left in the penalty to Gusarov. Howardchuk ready on a face-off against number 30, Semyonov of the Soviets. Soviets get it, trying to carry in. Semyonov flipped it in. Now Goulet on the boards, trying to get it out. Lomakin is checked, and Goulet breaking out with Anderson and Howardchuk. Michel Goulet dumps it in. And the Soviets now back at full strength. Gusarov just out of the penalty box trying to clear it. Here is Anderson for Canada. Round on the boards. Howardchuk into the corner to Goulet. Goulet back for Howardchuk. Howardchuk to Craig Hartsburg at the point. Scoops it to Goulet. And Goulet taken out by Semyonov down in the corner. They do some grinding on the boards. Cleared over onto the other side. And over to get it is Stelnov, who carried to center ice. Now Semyonov. Pass went off a skate. Picked up on the far side by Fedotov. He shot it in. Now Semyonov digging in to try and center. And Anderson has it for Canada. Glenn Anderson just cleared at the center. Here's Gilmore running into Fedotov. Gusarov is back after it. Gusarov passing to Priakin. Headmanning it. In across the line. Humelap shoots one. Another shot. Muir stopped them both. Another shot. Washburn blocked that. And then cleared it out. Fetisov into center ice to Humelap to Priakin. And Gardner back checking, broke it up. Gilmore tries to clear it, does. And then Rochefort shoots it down the ice. Here's Nemchinov over to Fetisov to Priakin. Picked up now by Humelap. Leaving it for Nemchinov. Nemchinov, number 12, shoots off a stick and high up into the crowd here at the Forum. 1-0. Team Canada leading on an early goal by Mike Gardner.
Well, some great plays made by Armand Rochefort early in this game. Here's number 8 for the Soviet Union, Yuri Humelap. Plays for the wings of the Soviet, which means he played for and was coached by and brought up in the game of hockey by Yuri Dmitriev. Take a look at a rush just a couple of moments ago that started all of that problem in front of the net. These guys have got such great speed. He fought his way past the defense. Deflected shot that caused Fuhr a little bit of a problem. Now watch the great play by Rochefort as he cleared that out of harm's way. A good start for Rochefort, who made 2 crunching body checks in his last shift. Also has an assist and that save in front of the net. It's a nice way to start a hockey game.
Canada from the face-off. Try to clear it, and they do, and it's cleared up over the glass by Doug Crossman.
Now for the Soviets, as you look at Viktor Tikhonov, problems all have started at goal. There's just no way you replace Vladislav Tretiak. There may never, ever be a goaltender of his quality in the game. That guy is kind of filling skates that are about 10 sizes too big for him.
Here is Bourque for Canada, leading a rush to center ice. Fires it in. Messier and Gardner charge in after it. Here's Messier taking a man out of the play, but the Soviets now drop it back, and Fetisov cleared it right in front of his own net to Krutov, trying to feed Larionov, but it was too far. And Bourque is back, and Fuhr lifted up on the wing for Crossman. Crossman failed to get it out. Now Bourque will carry it up. Here's Bourque with a long shot that dipped. Rebound to Anderson. And he fired that one as Anderson went steaming in after it. Here's Makarov to Kasatonov, number 7. He flips it in. Crossman back for Canada. Off the boards for Brent Sutter. His pass to Messier. Messier flipping it in for Sutter. Brent Sutter into the corner with Gusarov. And Gusarov does a good job as he took it away from him. Beats Krutov, and it comes to center. Larry Murphy for Canada. Played it off the boards. Knocked down by Krutov. Back he comes. Trying to go around Murphy. Murphy poked it away. And Gretzky comes up with it. Feeds Michel Goulet. Leaving it for Gretzky. Gretzky now to Goulet. Melnikov had it under his pad, but looked in behind him. He didn't know where it was, and it was under his goal pad. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Dan, you spoke of Milnikov not knowing where that puck was. I don't think that Goulet really saw too much of it either. Some great moves inside the line by Gretzky, and then he slipped it through. Goulet doing what he's supposed to do. Go for the net, look for it. He came by him, and he just got a tip of his stick on it, slid it in there. Milnikov a little lucky, but Goulet is getting the redirection. That's enough. He'll get a shot on goal.
1-0, Canada leading. Here's Gretzky on a face-off. Backhander that's blocked, and back comes Momatop, number 15 for the Soviets. Trying to get it to Kamensky. Gretzky back-checking, breaks it up, and here's Gretzky, Poppy trailing. So is Goulet. Pass to Goulet, just tipped by Bekov, and the Soviets come back. Momatop, number 15, firing it in front for Bekov. Murphy tied him up. Now Gusarov, a drive, pure. Stick save, bouncing puck, still loose. Centered by the Soviets, a backhander by Bekov. Big save, pure, and a penalty coming up here to Canada. And in front of the net, a holding call against Team Canada, and the Soviets will have the man advantage coming up right here, and heading to the penalty box is Brent Sutter, number 21.
Well, this started when the defenseman Coffey got caught up ice, and it caused all the problems when you had Sutter playing defense back there. Sutter's trying to hold the man behind the net, and he finally says, there's only one thing I can do here. Koharski looking right at it. He just tackled him, is literally what he did. But that's the situation you don't like to see, is a forward having to play defense, skating backwards into his own zone. Things tend to go awry.
This program is protected by copyright. Any use of this telecast without permission is prohibited. Well, the Soviets will be going to the power play. Their first of this game. They're 5 for 18 with the man advantage, a 28% with the May power play. And here's Doug Gilmour for Team Canada, out killing off the penalty, shooting it down the ice. Kasatonov back to get it. Kasatonov's pass into center ice, picked up on the fly by Semak, flowering it in for Lomakin. He couldn't get it. Now on the board, Semyonov, number 30. Back to Fetisov, to Kasatonov. Shoots, he scores! Deflected on the way through. Kasatonov let it go, but it changed directions. This game is tied 1-1.
Changed directions, I think, off Gilmour, who was the high man trying to block the shot. Here it comes as it comes to the point. Watch Gilmour move out towards the point. And as the shot comes in, I think it changed direction right there. I don't think the man in front of the net got a piece of it. I think it was the high man. We'll get a better view of it here. Here comes the shot. As Gilmour moves out, there it is. It changed direction, went high. Nothing Pure could do. Kasatonov will get the goal.
Fetisov gets an assist, as does Semyonov. Kasatonov getting the goal, his first of this series. Here's a breakaway for Priakin, but Rochefort able to get back and get some help from Craig Hartsburg, and it's cleared up on the boards. Canada working it into center. Lemieux to Gardner, who has had Canada's goal. He fires it in. Gardner on the boards, taken out. Gardner continuing to battle, and it's cleared out of there by the Soviets. Here into center ice is Imalev, number 8 to Priakin. Priakin dropping it to Larionov. Soviets changing on the fly. Larionov to Kasatonov. Shooting wide by a couple of feet. And Fetisov will have to chase back for it for the Soviets. Fetisov to Makarov. He has Krutov with him. Gives it to Krutov. Back to Makarov. Deflected. You're the save. Howardchuk cleared the rebound. Held in by the Soviets. Now center to Makarov. And a good defensive play by Howardchuk to break that up. Centered. And they fan on it. And here comes Messier. 3-on-2. Canada break. Messier to Coffey. Fires. And off the blocker of Milnikov. Then into the corner. Soviets trying to work it out. And they do. Larionov, number 11. Beating it through to Krutov. Saved by Pure on the short side. Just got his glove on it. And Coffey passes it out on the wing. Picked up by Anderson to Messier. And Canada dump it in. Gusarov back for the Soviets. Over on to Fedotov. Held in by Canada. Shot right on. Milnikov a save, and Anderson was knocked down before he could get the rebound. Soviets shoot at the center. Here's Bork to Crossman to Goulet. Into Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky for Canada. Firing it over to Bork. Bork shot. Comes in front. Milnikov out to clear it. And Kamensky breaks down right wing. Only Crossman back. And Crossman makes a good play to break that up. Here is Doug Crossman from the Philadelphia Flyers to Bork. Less than 8 minutes to play in the first period. A 1-1 game. Bork to Sutter, but it's offside at the Soviet blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. With Ron Roos, Dan Kelly at the Forum in Montreal. 1-1 the score. Gardner early for Canada. Kasatonov tied it on a power play at 9:34 here in the first period. Here's Craig Hartsburg backhanding one down the ice. Prop going in to get it. Gets some help from Gardner. Now back to Prop. Semyonov took it away from him and tried to feed it into center ice. Hartsburg to Mario Lemieux. Into Prop. Back to Lemieux. He's checked, and Samak trying to get it out of there to Semyonov. Back to Samak, number 18. He moves in and is checked before he could make the play. Hartsburg knocking it off his stick. Kasatonov back to get it to Lomakin. Now to Semyonov. Into Samak, number 18. Hartsburg takes him out nicely. Puck still loose, however. Soviets. Lomakin trying to get it in front. Brian Prop intercepts. And now back to the play in the corner. Hartsburg tying up a Soviet player, and he'll get a penalty. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
6 secondes.
Craig Hartsburg protested to Don Koharski, the referee, that he was hauled down first. If so, then you got nailed for retaliation. Well, there's a pretty good piece of holding, and finally he just hauled him down. So on the holding, Hartsburg goes off. 13:06.
Soviets scored earlier on the power play in this game to tie it. Now they have the man advantage again. Messier and Gardner will be the penalty killers up front. Messier will take the face-off against Krutov. The green unit, as it's called by the Soviets. Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov up front. Kasatonov and Fetisov the point men. And the puck is cleared by Canada immediately down the ice. This is Fetisov. Headmanning it to Larionov, number 11. Bork tied him up, and here's Gardner giving it to Messier. Messier to Gardner. Gardner moves in, big shot, and he blasted that wide of the net. And the Soviets, Larionov to Makarov, number 24. Has Krutov with him. So is Kasatonov catching up with the play. Here's Makarov. Back to Fetisov. In front. Larionov couldn't get his stick on the pass. Here's Makarov to Fetisov. Shot. Pure the save. Rebound. Krutov scores. Krutov. 2 power play goals by the Soviets. And the Soviets take a 2-1 lead.
Great moves at the goal mouth by Kurutov off a rebound. He seemed to be covered, made the move close in, and then tucked it behind Grant Fuhr, who was playing out the top of the crease. The shot by Fetisov, the loose puck, and there it is. He just stick-handled around the goaltender. He had gotten behind Raymond Bourque, the defenseman. There he is as Bourque moves out. Bourque can't get back, and he's got time to tuck it in.
Krutov for the Soviets. His sixth goal of this Canada Cup. And the Soviets lead 2-1. Both of their goals coming on the power play. Canada's been penalized twice here in this period. And both times the Soviets have scored.
Well, the penalties will kill you. There's Kurutov, most valuable player in the Soviet Union last year. Most think now he's probably their best forward. He's gone by Makarov. And the thing they like to talk about Krutov, the thing they keep mentioning is not only is he a great offensive player with a great speed, great balance, all of those things, but he's also a terrific defensive player. Great back checker, plays a total game.
Had 50 points in 39 games with the Red Army team last year. Here's Coffey, Canada now trailing. Ahead to Anderson. Anderson in with Howard, Chuck, and Gretzky. Anderson can't get it back. Now Murphy to Gretzky. Gretzky a shot. Stick save, rebound to Anderson, but he was checked by Priakin before he could get the shot off. And now Fedotov clearing it into center ice. And the Soviets just shoot it to the Team Canada blue line. Coffey giving it to Gretzky ahead for Howard Chuck. Hopped over his stick. Here's Fedotov. Number 14 to Priakin. And he clears it into center ice with Murphy back for Canada. Murphy to Gretzky. Now to Coffey. Trying to get around Fedotov. Look at Coffey fly. Flips it around on the boards. Homotop there to clear it into center ice. And Patrick, number 6, back for Canada. Patrick to Gardner. Chipped down the ice. And as Perbukin goes back to touch it, that's an icing call against Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Scoring play. Krutov is 6th of the Canada Cup. Fetisov and Makarov the assists. 13:53 the time. Soviets with both of their goals in the power play, and they lead it 2-1. Now Canada with Patrick breaking up to Mario Lemieux, but Bekhoff was there to break that up, and here's Homotop number 15 to Bekhoff. Into Kamensky, to Homotop to Bekhoff. Back to Gusarov, a drive, and Fuhr got a stick on that, and it deflects up into the crowd. Well, the moral of this period might be stay out of the penalty box, Ron.
Well, it's an interesting selection of referee, and the Soviets have taken advantage.
Here's Canada trying to work it out. Larry Murphy does flip it out, but shot it too hard. Lemieux trying to keep the play onside. Races in. It is onside. Lemieux trying to center to Prop. Got it in front, but Semyonov there to clear it. Now held in by Murphy to Prop. To Lemieux. Can't get it centered, and Kasatonov flips it to Fetisov. Fired it into center ice. Coffey there. And now Fetisov down on the ice and injured, I think, in a collision with Mario Lemieux. And Fetisov is down on his hands and knees.
Well, Fetisov's all right, I think, but it was right in front of Don Koharski, and now Fetisov's pretty upset at Lemieux. He wanted to go after Lemieux. Mario Lemieux hit it. Here it is here now. He just unloads the puck up the boards. Lemieux had him lined up, and he gave him a good shot. A little elbow in that as well, but the referee was right there, and he didn't see a call for a penalty. Blindsider, and I don't think Fetisov liked that one bit. I'm going to watch those two the next shift.
4:03 left in the period. 2-1. Soviet Union. Don Koharski, the referee. Usually in a game such as this, they'd have an official from a neutral country, but the Soviets thought a lot of Koharski's work earlier in the series, and they said, let Koharski call it.
They had him 3 times in different games. Said they got a lot of penalties in the games, and according to the coach, they earned every one of them.
Here's Goulet in against Perbukin, tipping it into the corner. Goulet and Pervukin battle back of the net. Sutter in after it. Puck comes over onto the other side. And Lomakin now beating Semyonov, number 30. Ahead onto the wing. Samak trying to carry in. Samak dumps it in, and Coffey has it for Canada. Coffey can't get back or get by Lomakin. Semyonov fires it right back in for the Soviets. You're leaving it there, and Murphy has it for Canada. Murphy, number 8, from the Washington Capitals, fires it in. Goulet comes in, but Gusarov shoots it around. Now Gretzky. Gretzky tied up by Fedotov, and here's Semyonov trying to break down with Lomakin. Semyonov still with the puck, dropping it back. And moving in is Stelnov, flips it around on the boards. Hartsburg into the other corner. Semyonov all over him. Now Lomakin comes in. We're going to get a penalty here. High sticking, I believe, against Semyonov against Hartsburg in the corner. And it looks as though Team Canada will have the power play now.
One of those offensive zone penalties that you hate to have happen against your team. Up against the board, Semyonov in there, and the sticks go up, and the collision right there. And so Canada will get a power play opportunity. The Soviets are 2 for 2 in that department. Barsky quick with the whistle.
No, they don't give it to Semyonov. They give it to Lomakin. So Lomakin gets the penalty. High sticking the call. Canada with a power play and trailing 2-1. 2:51 left in the opening period. Canada on its second power play opportunity of this game. They're 0 for 1 tonight. Messier, Lemieux, and Gretzky up front. Bourque and Coffey the point men. Here's Bourque. To Messier. Leaving it for Coffey now to Bourque. Bourque over to Gretzky. Gretzky put it in front. Knocked away by the defenseman Stelnov. And now Makarov cleared it. Lemieux held it in to Messier. Back to Lemieux, but Krutov flips it. Makarov on a breakaway. Makarov scores! 3-1, the Soviet Union. A short-handed breakaway goal by number 24, Sergei Makarov.
Soviets got a man free who had full speed when he picked up the puck. There was no way that the defenseman could handle him. The puck was chipped loose and just flipped out by Krutov to Makarov. That's Ray Bourque trying desperately to come back, but he is out of it at that point. The good move by Makarov with pure cold. Oh, I tell you, the mistakes Team Canada has made here really cost them. Short-handed goal to go with 2 power play goals.
Makarov is 6th of the series.
44 seconds.
A short-handed goal. Krutov will get an assist. 17:44 the time. 3-1. Soviet Union leading. Here's Crossman to Murphy. Murphy into Howard-Chuck, flipping it in. Fetisov back to get it. Goulet into Forecheck. Goulet tied up by Glenn Anderson. Now Fetisov to Bekhoff. Good play by Murphy to hold it in. Into the corner. They get it back to Murphy again. Now to Howard-Chuck, over to Crossman. Trying a centering pass. Howard-Chuck into Anderson. Trying to get it in front. Now Dale Howard-Chuck. Back to Murphy. Murphy to Crossman. Shoots off a stick as Fetisov went down and got a piece of it. And it deflects up into the crowd. Well, Mike Keenan was talking before the game, and he said, just like Czechoslovakia, the Soviets kill penalties very aggressively. And he said every game they get a breakaway on us, and they just had one and it scored.
Well, the speed is what does it, and if they play that man high, intercepting that cross-ice pass at the point, that's exactly what happened. It was just great reaction by Krutov to knock it out of midair and chip it up towards center ice. And then, of course, Makarov, one of the fastest men in the world on a hockey rink. Not much chance for Bourque to come back.
Here is Bourque. Canada still in a power play. Bourque shooting one. Rebound to Lemieux. Put it across to Gretzky. It was tipped on the way by. Now Gretzky in the corner. Here's Wayne Gretzky. In front to Lemieux. Big save, Milnikov. On Lemieux, slap shot. Oh, Melnikov kicked out that right leg and looked like a thoroughbred there and making that save.
Oh, what a labeled shot it was, too, by Mario Lemieux on a great pass from Gretzky, who did a magical job of maintaining. I think that wasn't labeled. That just was reading the play and reacting quickly. There's the great Gretzky pass and a one-timer by Lemieux.
.1:15 left in the period. 24 seconds left in the penalty to Lomakin of the Soviet Union. Messier on a face-off against Krutov, who's back out there. Messier getting the draw. Gusarov coming up with it, trying to clear it. Coffey held it in, but Makarov clears it down for the Soviets. This is Bork. Stelnov stepped into him, and the puck flipped up over the board to Team Canada's bench. We're down to 59 seconds left in the opening period.
Raymond Bork, who's been extraordinary in this series, he was the one caught, but I don't think it was his fault so much. One of those things that happens when you're on a power play. You're thinking offense, and the puck is chipped up past you at center ice on a turnover inside the zone. Shots on goal, 11-10 for the Soviets, but in the error department, every one that Canada has made has wound up in the net.
Here's Makarov for the Soviets. They're still shorthanded. Now the penalized player Lomakin back on. Krutov with 47 seconds left in the opening period, firing it out into center ice. 3-1, the Soviets lead. Here's Bork shooting it back in. Stelnov there. Now Gardner back of the net. Losing it. And the Soviets, Stelnov, number 4, carries out. Into center ice, back to Stelnov. Weak wrist shot, pure handling that. And here's Gardner getting it out on the boards. Canada just clear it to center. And it's Gusarov for Priyakin. He gets knocked down. And Canada's Crossman with 8 seconds left in the period fires it down the ice. On goal, Melnikov the save. Brent Sutter a shot. Melnikov stopped that. Krutov cleared it. And there's the buzzer to end the first period. Canada took an early lead on a goal by Gardner. But then power play goals by Kasatonov and Krutov gave the Soviets the lead. And to add some icing to the cake, Makarov with a shorthanded goal to make it 3-1 for the Soviets.
Shots on goal in the period for the Soviet Union, 12 for Canada, 11.
So a tough. You look at Grant Fuhr and Team Canada as they fight an uphill battle now, Ron Rouge.
Well, there have been uphill battles in this Canada Cup over the years. Back to 1976, as we look at Krutov, who has 2 points on the night. His teammate, Fetisov, nicknamed him the Tank. That's a kind of a nickname that we seem to get in NHL teams as well. He's built like a fire plug, very strong, not very tall. He's only about 5'9", but he's got that conditioning and so on that makes him the great international player that he is. Looking back at some of the great games that Canada and the Soviets have had in Canada Cup play, in 1976, Bobby Hull scored the winning goal to eliminate the Soviets from the playoff round with a 3-1 victory at Maple Leaf Gardens. 1981, Canada beat the Soviet Union 7-3 in the regular round. Canada scored 5 straight goals in the third period to win that game. Middleton and Zion, the key goals in that. But then when they got to the playoffs, the Soviets won 8-1 right here in the Montreal Forum, despite the fact that they had a scoreless first period in which Canada outshot the Soviets and Vladislav Tretiak 12-4. Then in 1984, the Soviets beat Canada 6-3. 2 unanswered goals by the Soviets broke a 2-2 tie. Gamayev and Semyonov, but then in the semifinal, that great overtime game that eliminated the Soviets, Bossy scoring the winning goal at 12:29. See what happens here.
Here we go with the second period. Canada getting it in immediately, but Fetisov is there. Checked by Howardchuk. Fetisov gets it back, feeds it to Krutov, who cleared it out of there, and it will go the length of the ice. Rochefort back to touch it, and as he does, icing against the Soviet Union.
There's Normand Rochefort. What a first period he had, especially that first 10 minutes, using his size and his body checking skills and also setting up the first Canada goal. But Rochefort is one of those unsung players, plays for the Nordiques. Very much appreciated by Serge Savard, who has had to watch him help the Nordiques beat the Canadians over various games. And hence he recommended highly that Rochefort be a part of Team Canada. I don't think he's made a mistake at all.
Here's Larionov against Messier. Canada winning it. Anderson up backhander. Nolnikov caught that and held on to it. And we'll get another face-off deep in the Soviet Union end of the ring. Canada tonight with the injuries to Deneen and to Claude Lemieux. Undermanned. Rick Tocchet is dressed but has not seen action. According to Mike Keenan, he said we're really going with 10.5 forward tonight. I may just be able to spot Tocchet here and there. And the Soviets, of course, use 4 lines, so conditioning as this game goes along could be a big factor. Here's Makarov moving in. Trying to center. Crossman knocks that away. Rochefort now to Howardchuk. Kasatonov pinching in, but Howardchuk gets it to Messier. Now to Anderson. Fetisov cleared that away. And Krutov feeds Fetisov. He loses to Howardchuk. Shoots! Oh, and he shot it just wide. A giveaway by Fetisov, but Howardchuk just missed. Now Rochefort his own line. To Dale Howardchuk. Now to Glenn Anderson. Anderson got it to the line, no further. Stelnov feeding Homotop. Homotop number 15. To Bekov. Howardchuk there to clear it away. And here's Anderson, but Krutov intercepts his pass and drops it back to Gusarov. Into center ice. Here comes Bekov, number 27. Quick wrist shot. Stick save pure. Here's Kamensky, number 13. Round on the boards, Homotov. Now to Kamensky. Crossman checks him. Working it out, and Sutter shot at the center ice. Bekov back there. Gets it back into the Canadian zone. Shot up ice. Gretzky charging in after it with Stelnov. And Stelnov comes up with it, number 4. Gretzky stays with him, steals it. Gretzky center. Sutter took a poke at it, but Gusarov cleared it. And here's Kamensky. Shoots, he scores! Kamensky from well out. Surprising pure. And it's 4-1 for the Soviet Union.
Shades of Rendezvous 87. Kamensky, who scored those big goals in the second game of the Rendezvous exhibition series. This one, a shocker. Let it go. No reason in the world this should not be stopped, except I think that Pure may have been a little casual with it in that he didn't play it with his body. He was looking to glove it and it may have dropped on him. There it is, and I think it did drop on him, and instead of playing the puck to block the puck, he tried to glove it and went right through his leg.
Kamensky making it 4-1. Here come the Soviets again. Semyonov getting it in there. Murphy tying him up. Now Lomakin tied up by Murphy. And then it's cleared up on the boards, and now back of the play, a holding penalty called against Team Canada and Larry Murphy. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Larry Murphy, 2 minutes for holding at 2 minutes 27 seconds.
A barrel load of trouble now for Team Canada. They're down 4-1, and Murphy gets a penalty here for tying up the Soviet player. A holding goal.
Well, Team Canada is going to have to start playing this game like a basketball team that's in foul trouble. They simply cannot get penalties anymore.
The last scoring play, Kamensky from Homotop at 2:10, and Gusarov had an assist as well. That's the goal that made it 4-1. Soviets have a chance here to really put Canada in big trouble if they're not in enough already. Here's Sutter. Fetisov checks him. Now Larionov moving it into Makarov. Makarov for the Soviets. Dropping it to Fetisov. Over to Kasatonov, a drive. Pure save. Larionov flips it on the boards. Sutter over to get it. Makarov knocked it away from him, and it comes back to Fetisov. He passed it. Gardtner off the bench intercepts. He's hauled down. And Makarov will get a penalty. And each team will be a man short now. Makarov, number 24, to the penalty box.
Well, the penalties keep coming here. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of them called so far. All of them minor penalties. Gardner just hauled down from behind. Makarov respecting, I think, Gardner's speed a bit.
Hooking is the goal, by the way.
3:10 the time of the penalty.
Number 24, Sergei Makarov. 2 minutes for hooking at 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
So each team a man short. 4-1, the Soviet Union leading. Canada with Gretzky out there along with Lemieux, Coffey, and Bourque. This, of course, is a part of the game that Gretzky and the Oilers were so good at before they changed the rules a couple of years ago. Let's see how they make out here. Long shot by Bourque off a stick and up over the glass into the crowd. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Sticks exactly the same way in the Soviet Union as you do in Canada. There's big Fetisov stripping the tape off.
Here's Canada from the face-off. Gretzky side of the net. Behind the net, centered. Coffey moves in, shoots. Milnikov a save. And another penalty coming up to Priakin in front of the net for decking Lemieux. And Priakin will go to the penalty box. And it will be 4 against 3 on a power play for Canada.
3 penalties called in a minute here. Lemieux took a shot or a dive. I don't know which there. Whatever, it drew the attention of Don Koharski, the referee, and he called it. Priakin is what? High sticking will be the call. There's the president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler, down in the NHL seats, south end of the Forum.
Canada with a chance here. 4 against 3 power play. High sticking against Priakin. 3:27 the time. Canada in this game 0 for 2 on the power play. Gretzky, Coffey, Bourque, and Lemieux up. All inside the Soviet line. And Coffey couldn't hold it in. Gretzky has to go back near center ice. Into Lemieux. Back to Gretzky to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux centered it. Bourque in front, knocked it down, but Bekov checked him, and Gusarov fires it around and down the ice. This is Paul Coffey. To Gretzky, into Bourque. Back to Gretzky. Centered it, tipped away by Stilnov, and Coffey has to chase back. Canada with a 4 against 3 power play. Here's Coffey. Feeding it to Gretzky. Now to Coffey. Into Lemieux. Drops it back, and his back pass misses Gretzky. And Canada has to chase back. Cleared up ice. Here's Coffey. Coffey, number 77. Checked by Krutov. Held in. Here's Lemieux. Drops it back. Over to Gretzky. Now to Bourque. Now Canada with a 2-man advantage. Full strength. Soviets 2-man short. Here's Messier. This shot wide. Messier into the corner. Checked on the play by Krutov. Big defensive play there by Krutov. Soviets are 2-man down. And Krutov carried in, and the play goes offside at Team Canada's blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Short still. Makarov will be coming out of the penalty box in 16 seconds. 33 seconds remaining in the penalty to Priakin. Canada's a little too anxious, I think, Dan. They're overpassing.
And trailing 4-1 at this point. Soviets cleared down the ice. This is Doug Crossman back to get it. Crossman head-manning it into center ice to Howardchuk. Howardchuk over to Anderson. Makarov breaks that up. Now the Soviets just 1-man short. Here's Homatov to Makarov. And he drops it back into his own zone to Fetisov. Flipping it down the ice. Homatov to Makarov around Murphy. Makarov cutting in. Backhander and a glove save by Fuhr. Now the Soviets are back at full strength. Here's Canada with Anderson bumped by Makarov. Now Murphy clearing it up and cleared it up over the boards at the Team Canada bench. Had everybody ducking there. And he nipped one of his teammates. I think it was Hartsburg. But that puck as it flew into the bench.
Got him out of the... came out shaking his hand as if it had hit him on the hand as he was coming off the bench. Kasatonov. Some think that he may be playing better defense for the Soviet Union than Fetisov is right now. Kasatonov, big, strong guy.
Chris Nyland told us today he's as strong a guy as he's ever gone into the boards against. Here's Rochefort for Canada. Teams at full strength. Canada down by 3, trying to battle back here. Rochefort sliding it into the Soviet zone, cleared out and then carried back in by Tocchet, who's on the ice for the first time. And then he gets upended on the play.
Tocchet's upset at Fedotov, who hit him as he hit the line and dumped him. Tocchet still talking. Not going to do you much good to talk to the linesman. Rick? Nice to see it here as he let it go. Then he was hooked from behind and shoved.
Tocchet bothered by a gimpy knee, seeing his first action of this game. Now Hartsburg for Canada. Over to Rochefort, long shot. Milnikov stops that. And the Soviets try and clear it. Held in by Rochefort. Broken up, cleared out. Here is Semyonov breaking down with Kamensky. Semyonov a shot. Big save by Bure as he kicked out his left leg. And Gilmour cleared at the center. Gilmour out there with Prop and Tocchet on the forward line. Soviets shoot it in. Back to get it. And controlling it is Rochefort to Gilmour. Gilmour to Prop. Brian Prop with a shot. Milnikov the save. Didn't know where it was for a moment. And then an awful collision in front of the net. One of the Soviet players, Stelnov, running into his goaltender, Milnikov.
Going to be a penalty.
And a penalty coming up. The Tocchet?
Yeah. Officiating in this game, Team Canada has earned every one of them. Here's Tocchet. The goaltender has stopped play, and he cross-checked Stelnov right over top of the goaltender. And so, in the end, Canada is shorthanded again.
Here is Canada dumping it into the Soviet Union into the rink. Gusarov back to pick it up, leaving it for Stelnov. Soviets already have 2 power play goals tonight and lead 4-1. Homotov firing it in. And Spure missing it. Bekov back of the net. Gets it in front to Kamensky. Kamensky, number 13. Into the side of the goal. Bekov a backhander. Pure grabbed that and held onto it. And we get a stoppage and a face-off deep in Team Canada's end of the ring.
They always seem to find a way, even knocked off balance, to let the quick shot get away. And that one by Bekov was a real tester on Pure. Stelnov let one go just a shift before that. Bekov, number 27, right in front of the net. He's going to get the pass off to the side. Here it comes, and that quick shot. And Pure right there. They know how to handle almost any puck that comes to him. Backhand, forehand, slap shot, wrist shot.
Here's Kasatonov trying to center to Makarov. Now Fetisov held it in, but Messier knocked it down. And a Soviet player, Krutov, is flat on the ice and injured. Didn't see what happened to him, but Krutov is face down on the ice. And that's the reason that play is stopped.
Another incident behind the play. We'll see it there. There's the cross check. What in the world are we degenerating to here now?
That was Hartsburg.
That was just a cheap shot. If you think you're going to intimidate these guys, somehow you just don't need to do this kind of thing. Basically a shot across the back of the neck. That was Krutov. I'm sorry, not Fetisov. Take a look at it again. That is unnecessary.
No penalty on the play. It was behind the play that occurred, and Krutov going right to the Soviet locker room. Meanwhile, the Soviets continuing on a power play. Tocchet with 1:22 left in his penalty. And here is Fetisov to Makarov. Soviets lead 4-1 and operate with the man advantage. Here's Larionov to Makarov. Makarov trying to cut around Hartsburg. Centered it out in front. Larionov had a shot at it. Now Hartsburg comes up with it. He flips it out on the boards. Messier can't get it by. Now he does get it away from Fetisov. One-on-one against Casatona. Messier to Rochefort right in. Big save, Milnikov. On Norman Rochefort was in alone. What a play Milnikov made. Here's Fetisov to Larionov. 38 seconds left in the Team Canada penalty. Now Casatona. In for Samak, number 18. Sliding it across to Homotop. Copy there to chip it out and get it by Fetisov, who has to chase back. 20 seconds left in Tocchet's penalty. Fetisov, round on the boards. Getting it to Samak, who cleared it in to Lomakin, but Lomakin went in ahead of the pass offside at the Team Canada blue line.
Rochefort had that great chance. That's the one play where you hate to see a defenseman on that play, especially a defensive defenseman. He made a pretty good move for a defenseman, but you'd love to see Wayne Gretzky there instead of Normand Rochefort, with all due respect. We're watching for Kurutov, who has not come back to the bench after being taken to the dressing room.
Here's Perbukin over to Podotov. Soviets controlling and leading this game 4-1. Samak, number 18. He drops it back. Lomakin, well tied up by Goulet. Gretzky comes back, and Wayne Gretzky has it for Canada. Teams at full strength now. Here's Gretzky shooting it in. Perbukin back to get it. Canada's Goulet to Tocchet. Now to Gretzky, centered out in front. Goulet can't get his shot off. Then when he did, it was wide. Goulet cleared it into the corner. Soviets come up with it, and Lomakin feeding it into center ice for Samak. Back to Lomakin. Murphy there to intercept for Canada. Canada trailing 4-1 as Murphy headmans it to Paul Coffey. Coffey trying to feed it in front to Tocchet. Tocchet knocked it into the corner. Now Gretzky knocked away by the Soviets, and Lomakin feeds Semyonov. Only one man back. Semyonov trying to drop it to Lomakin. Shoots. He shot it wide. They went to the trailer on the play again, but they shot wide. Here's Gardner right back for Canada. And now Semyonov has it for the Soviets. They head to Humalep, number 8. Rochefort got a piece of him in the corner. Comes to Pryakin, however. He cuts in front. Fiora save. Puck loose. Hartsburg clearing it away. And then Team Canada fire to center to Lemieux. Lemieux with Gardner. Lemieux trying to get it. And a good defensive play by Stelno. Now Lemieux again. In front. This time Gusarov there to break it up. Soviets can't get it out. Here's Gardner behind the net. Did center. Humalep is there to shoot it away. And Hartsburg has to go back. Greg Hartsburg for Canada. Passing one in for Prop now to Lemieux. Lemieux tried to get it in front, but Fetisov intercepts and clears it out of there. Now Kamensky to Bekov. Bekov wide open. Homotop hit the post. Homotop in alone, hit the post. Canada come back. Here's Lemieux, but that's called back on a two-line offside pass after a hit goal post by the Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
There's that cross-check again, and Kurutov has not come back. Snapped his head back as he cross-checked on the back of the head. And there is Svetlov in the stands. His reaction to that, as you can see. And here's that post that Homotop hit. Just to the far side of Grant Fuhr, who I have to say has been under fire in this game. Defense now is starting to open it up. Kurutov now has made his way back to the bench. He's standing at the end of the bench. That's just one shift.
9:11 left in the second period. 4-1. Soviets leading Team Canada. Here's Fetisov to number 13, Kamensky. Leaving it for Homatov. Homatov into Bekov, now to Kamensky. Trying to center, Howardchuk intercepts. Howardchuk clears it into center ice. Now Bork to Messier to Anderson. His shot partially blocked by Fetisov, and Anderson crashed into Milnikov. And Fetisov and the rest of the Soviet teammates come to the aid of their goaltender. And Milnikov comes out and has something to say to Glenn Anderson now as they skate back into his goal crease.
I think Anderson was shoved into the goaltender in this particular instance. The shot was deflected. Got right on him, and then as he moved in, he's tied up a little bit by, well, now maybe I'm wrong, huh? Looks like he went after the goaltender. Team Canada bench a little down right now. What they desperately need in the next couple of minutes is a goal just to put themselves in kind of a position to come back. A 3-goal lead by the Soviets. The way they can play, a tough one to overcome.
Let's see what the Gretzky, Tocchet, and Goulet line can do. Meanwhile, the Soviets clear it at the center. Here's Krutov into Makarov. Trying to center to Larionov. Coffey there to intercept. Paul Coffey, check from behind. Larionov to Makarov. He slides it into the corner, and Goulet has to go back for Canada. Michel Goulet, number 16. Trying to feed Murphy, who lets it go. Tocchet picks it up, dumps it in. Milnikov flips it away for Buchan. Trying to shoot it out. Now Goulet getting it into the corner. But Dotop paddling there with Tocchet. Puck comes to Gretzky in the other corner. Centered it. Put it right through the crease. And Makarov starts back for the Soviets. Makarov feeding Krutov with Coffey back for Canada. Paul Coffey from the Edmonton Oilers leading a rush to center. Coffey over to Gretzky. Gretzky moving in, centered it off a skate. Krutov trying to clear it. Gardner held it in. He gets knocked down. And Gusarov fires it out for the Soviets. Murphy held it in. In on the boards. Gilmore checked. Now shot into the corner and cleared by the Soviets. And they have a 2-on-2 break to center. Womakin with Krutov. Leaving it there. Gilmore to break it up. And number 28, Doug Gilmore for Canada to Mike Gardner. Gardner flips it in. Gilmore charging in. Takes Stelnob out of the play. And now Semyonov has it. Stolen by Gilmore. He lost it, and here's Womakin for the Soviets. The Semyonov, but Hartsburg cleared it. Here's Lemieux to Gardner, but Masatonov got back to break it up. To Semyonov. Leaving it for Samak, and that shot hit Hartsburg. Womakin into the corner. Rochefort checks in. Gilmore for Canada. Fires it to center. Fetisov intercepting. Now to Semyonov, to Samak off his stick. Hartsburg feeds Lemieux. Here's Lemieux to Gardner. Gardner back to Lemieux, and he elected to shoot, and Milnikov stopped it and cleared it himself to center. Brian Propp to Crossman. Now to Bork, back for Propp, intercepted by Semyonov. Soviets leading 4-1. Samak with a long shot. You're handling that, and Crossman has it, giving it to Bork. Canada trailing by 3. Fire it in. Sutter going in to get it. Get some help on the play from Propp. Back for Sutter. He's pinned in there, centered by Canada, but Priyakin for the Soviets, squeezing Kasatonov. Kasatonov with a drive. Yor made a body save, and Bork clears it out to Propp. Now to Sutter. Ahead to Gretzky. Gretzky stops. Now cuts in front, shoots one. Sutter a whack at it. Gretzky raises the stick as if they scored. Now we have an altercation at the side of the net. It's a holding call coming up. No goal. But there will be a penalty. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Fedotov goes off for holding. At 14:23, Canada
Canada needs desperately a goal. Here's the business in front of the net as Canada put the pressure on. They've had a couple of good opportunities the last couple of shifts. Good effort by Sutter as he just rolls on. That puck, I think, eventually wound up in the net. But at that point, well, now maybe did Gretzky signaling a goal. I didn't see it go in. In any case, through all of that, Sutter drew a penalty, and Fedotov goes off on the holding.
Canada with the man advantage. Here's Coffey at the point, shooting. That's off the glass. Now Lemieux got it in front. Beckhoff clears it, and Homatov flips it to Beckhoff, but Bourque gets back in a hurry for Canada. Team Canada trailing 4-1 and on a power play. Here's Bourque. Dumping it in. Mario Lemieux in to get it. Lemieux tied up. Back to the goal for Gretzky into the corner. Gretzky and Lemieux trying to fish it off the boards, but Homatov is there to shoot it out, and Team Canada has to go back. You're giving it to Bourque. Now to Lemieux. Stelnov goes back, but the goaltender Milnikov did a little stick handling and then decided to freeze it. And that's allowed in international hockey competition.
Better part of valor, I think, in that particular instance. Messier was in there, but also coming in were both Gretzky and Lemieux. And the way those guys could smell out a pass and intercept it, better just to cover it up and hopefully win the faceoff. 4-1, the Soviet Union leading this one, mostly on their special team, something Brad Park mentioned at the beginning of the game. For the Soviets, it's been the key to the game. There's Beckhoff, little guy who important part of this team.
Canada is 0 for 4 on the power play, and they've given up a shorthanded goal to the Soviets. Here's Anderson. Got it in front. A save and another penalty coming up for the Soviet Union here. A cross-checking penalty. And the Soviets through top to the penalty box. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Vladimir Krutov off for cross-checking at 15:24. Watch to the right of your screen behind the net. That area is going to produce a penalty. And right there. A little bit of a bump and answered in kind, and the retaliation was what brought the penalty. Kind of a breach of self-discipline there.
Canada with a two-man advantage. They're trailing 4-1. 59 seconds left in Fedotov's penalty, and now Krutov in there. Here's Gretzky. Moves in, shoots. Oh, Messier just failed with a tip-in try, and then the Soviets clear it out of there. And now back of the play, we're going to get another penalty. A cross-checking call, this time against Bourque of Canada. Well, there goes the two-man advantage that Canada had.
Can't believe the kind of hockey Canada is playing here tonight. It is certainly undisciplined. Get a two-man advantage and then mess it up. Bourque is number 7. There it is. There's the cross-check.
Cross-checking, 15:34 the time. Koharski, the referee.
Koharski said he'll let the game dictate the way he calls it. He's just calling what he sees, and he's seen quite a bit in this game. These are 3 penalties called in less than a minute.
So now a 4-against-3 power play for Canada. Here's Coffey. Beating Gretzky. Gretzky shoots wide by a couple of feet. And then Murphy at the point couldn't hold it in and has to chase back. Murphy, number 8 for Canada. To Messier. Messier gives it to Coffey. He flips it in. Kasatonov back to fire it right back out of there. And Team Canada has to retreat. Here's Paul Coffey. Into center ice. Lemieux couldn't handle it, and Gusarov shoots it away for the Soviets. Now the Soviets just one man short, so each team a man short as one of their penalized players is back on. Here's Crossman, taken out by Gusarov, and Semyonov back to get the loose puck. Kostelnov, number 4, to Semyonov. Lets a shot go off a stick and up into the crowd.
.317 remaining in the period. Mario Lemieux gave Gusarov a bit of a shot coming out of the zone, and Gusarov kind of doubled over. That was more it wasn't a dive because he didn't go down, but he sure winced. And Mario right now is in a three-way tie for the tournament scoring lead with Gretzky and Makarov. Rutov right behind now. That's about the way one would expect the scoring race in this tournament would go. The interesting thing is the guy who's nowhere in sight is Larionov, who has not been very much in evidence in this tournament. He has been playing, they tell us, with what is variously described as a knee injury or a back injury, depending on which member of the coaching staff you happen to be talking to, but they say he is playing hurt. Larionov is.
51 seconds left in Bork's penalty, 41 seconds left in Krutov's. Each team a man short. Here's Stelnov into Semyonov to Lomakin, missed him. Gusarov, number 3, to Stelnov, wide of the target with that drive. Now Semyonov on the boards. He's checked, and breaking out is Canada. They give it to the delay man, Coffey, who catches up, carries in, and he's checked, and Lomakin comes back for the Soviets. Number 23, Lomakin. Backhander. Fjord got a piece of that with his glove. What a save that was. Back comes Anderson. Into Gardtner. Mike Gardtner for Canada. Lets the shot go. He's tied up by Stelnov, who blocked the shot and now controls it and gives it to Gusarov. And the Soviets come out of their own zone. Soviets back at full strength. Now Bork comes back on. Canada's at full strength, and it's icing against the Soviet Union. 2:23 left in the second period. It was 3-1 after the first, and Kamensky has scored here in the second. Play just underway. Kamensky racing in. Fjord out of the net to clear it. Hit Murphy with it. Murphy had to slide it aside. Kamensky knocked it back of the net, and here's Howardchuk for Canada. To Goulet. Now to Howardchuk. To Murphy with Tocchet. Tocchet moving in. Shoots one. That's blocked. And cleared into the corner. In there goes Goulet. And he got his stick up. And he'll get a penalty for high sticking. As he and Fedotov had their sticks up. I'm not sure which one of them that Koharski is sending off. I think it's Fedotov. It is.
Well, that'd be the initial contact that was called. So Koharski right on top of the play. So the high stick. I thought the Goulet got it up a bit too, right at the tag end of the play. But this comes with less than 2 minutes remaining. Chance to see it again. Fedotov, as Goulet goes in, there's a little bit of a push there, a little bit of a hook, and there's the slash right across the face, and so that drew the Fedotov penalty.
Canada with the man advantage again. Canada 0 for 5 with the power play tonight. And that's something they've been leading the tournament in coming into this game, but the Soviets have killed them off well and have scored a shorthanded goal in the bargain.
Well, you can't say that it's been lopsided in terms of the penalties. They've been pretty even each side. Canada's had some opportunities with two-man advantages. There's Larionov, and they're working on his legs. Now, again, we heard stories that it was a back injury that was bothering him, but we also had heard that one of his knees was giving him trouble.
Canada needing a goal badly. They trail 4-1. Howardchuk, Goulet, and Anderson up front. Murphy and Bork the point men. Fetisov for the Soviets. Slides it right in front of his own net to number 27, Bekov. And he cleared it down, and Murphy has to go back for it. Giving it to Bork. Back to Murphy. Murphy misses Anderson with the pass, but Fetisov cleared it. Now Murphy or Bork intercepting. Bork into Anderson, but it's offside at the Soviet blue line. And the Canadians argue about that by the Soviet linesman who whistled that play down, namely Galinovsky.
Well, he pointed at Anderson as the man who was offside on the play. He was at the near boards, the play on the other side. So with 1:30 remaining in the second period, there's Galinovsky, the only Soviet official over here for the tournament. Morozov, who has not got a great many backers here on this side of the Atlantic, was not invited to the tournament.
Canada on a power play. Bourque feeding into Messier. Messier checked and then Copy has to backtrack. Gives it to Gretzky. Now to Bourque. Into Lemieux. Mario Lemieux on this power play. Back to Bourque. Bourque into Lemieux. Trying to center. Sliding across and breaking it up was Petitsav. Back to Bourque again. Return to Lemieux. Behind the net to Messier. That's Kasatonov tying him up. And Krutov clears it out of there. We're in the final minute of the second period. A minute left in Fedotov's penalty. Canada trailing 4-1. Here is Lemieux to Gretzky. Gretzky leaving it for Bourque. Shot, they score! Deflected in, and Canada scores on the power play.
Well, only history will tell us what this goal means, but a very important one in the final minute of the period. Barring something further happening, Canada will come into the third period trailing by just 2, which is a little more manageable. A deflected shot. The defenseman tried to block it. It flipped up over top of Melnikov's shoulder. And Canada gets on the board after giving up 4 straight. Bourque will get the goal.
Meanwhile, it hit someone in front of the net, whether it was a Team Canada player or the Soviet defenseman, it was hard to say. A power play goal, and it comes at a badly needed time for Canada, cutting the Soviets' lead to 4-2. Here's Team Canada again. Rochefort firing it in. In comes Brent Sutter. Fired around onto the other side. Over to get it is Gardtner, but Imolaf checked him. Now Stelnov trying to fire it in. Crossman clears it out, and Sutter has it for Canada. Now they work it to Crossman. 10 seconds left in the period. Humalep in there tying up Crossman. Sutter comes back, and they pin it against the boards. It comes loose, and Canada carry out just as the buzzer goes. Glenn Anderson firing a long one. That scoring play for Canada. Bourque, Gretzky, and Lemieux, 19-18 the time. A power play goal to cut the Soviet lead to 4-2.
Well, a big goal, as we mentioned. I don't think I've seen the Soviet Union play a more perfect hockey game than they've been playing tonight. They have really shut down Team Canada. But you get a little emotion. The things now that they're going to be very positive frame of mind in the dressing room, Team Canada. See if they can carry what happened for them late in the period into the third period.
4-2, the Soviets lead after 2. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CT.
This Team Canada, the way it is playing, if it just gets its game back together, I can't say that the final result of this game is going to decide the tournament. I think Canada can play a lot better.
Gretzky with Goulet and Taka to start the third period, and the Soviets immediately clear it down left wing. Here's Krutov to Larionov, cutting in. Larionov and a diving glove save on the short side by Grant Pure. That may have been a game saver right there as Larionov made a couple of nifty moves.
Well, he said he has been practically invisible in this tournament. Watch this move, though, as he comes blowing by the defense. And then a great move, but smelling it out beautifully was Pure, reaching back to take it right off his stick. That hardly looks like a guy that's got a bad knee/back. Great save. That's the kind of thing they're going to have to get this period, because Canada must, of course, open up.
Canada trailing by 2. Here comes Howardchuk. He's out with Anderson and Messier. Couldn't get around Kasatonov. Kasatonov flipping it out on the boards. Howardchuk knocking it down. Kasatonov ties Howardchuk up. Fires it around to Makarov. Crossman had pinched in to hold it in for Canada. And now Fetisov flips it to Krutov. Krutov with Makarov. 2-on-1 break. Krutov shoots. Got wide on the short side. Messier losing it. Krutov had it for the moment. Now Canada. Messier to center ice. Messier trying to slide it through. Does into the corner. Fired in front by Canada, but nobody there to get it, and the Soviets shoot it out to center ice. Greg Hartsburg giving it to Glenn Anderson. Canada changing on the fly. Anderson to Bork. Back to Glenn Anderson. Return to Bork. He had trouble with the bouncing puck. Finally clears it. Gusarov going back for the Soviets. That's Gilmore into forecheck. Gilmore stole it, but Lemieux couldn't get it. Now Hartsburg is shot. Here's Gilmore chipping it in behind the net. Gardner in front. Gilmore shoots. He scores! Doug Gilmore cuts the Soviet lead to 4-3.
Here it comes from behind the net. Lemieux chipping it out in front. I think Lemieux got a piece of that. Gilmore sliding into the slot. Got away from Beckhoff, who was checking on him. Gilmore, number 28, just flipping it in. Short side. There's a big goal, and it came after Larionov had that break, and then immediately after that, there was a 2-on-1 on Fjord. Now Canada can sit back a little bit, trailing by a goal, and not gamble the way they did in the first minute or so.
Gilmore's first goal of this tournament, and it's a biggie. It cuts the lead to 4-3. Now Canada on the attack again. Bork centered, deflected by Sutter, and over top of the net into the crowd. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. The Team Canada scoring play, Gilmore from Gardner and Hartsburg, 1:35 the time to cut the Soviet lead to 4-3.
In effect, those goals were separated in terms of playing time by 2 minutes and 17 seconds. There's an intermission between.
A late second period and an early third period goal, and the Soviets have seen their lead cut to 1. Soviets clear down the ice. Greg Hartsburg back to pick it up. Hartsburg trying to move it out of there. Hartsburg to center into Patrick. Patrick over to Prop shot. Milnikov a save there. Here's Brian Prop in the corner. Now Fedotov firing it out of there and down the ice. Fjord has to play it so there's no icing. Up to Rochefort. He feeds it to center. And then it's called back. And we're going to get a face-off back in the Team Canada end of the rink. You're seeing Patrick out on the ice right now, a defenseman, but because of the injuries, he's been on the forward line again here.
That play looked like a Gretzky play by a defenseman as he got the puck and immediately slid it to Prop. You know, the tendency, I think, when you're coming across the line in that position as a defenseman is to wind up and let it go. He made a great play to Prop. Prop got the quick shot away. Milnikov was right there.
Now here's a Team Canada line of Lemieux at center. Gilmore on left wing, Gardner on right wing. Here's Coffey with the puck. Paul Coffey firing it in. Milnikov steers it away. Gilmore into the corner. Now it's centered, but intercepted in the slot area by Himmelev. Over to Priakin, trying to move in, shoots. Fiora save on the short side. Puck cleared, bounced off the boards crazily right into the slot area. And Crossman had to hurry and clear it to center ice. Here's Priakin. He's checked. Gilmore to Lemieux. Lemieux moving in. Lemieux trying to make a play. Slides it to Gardner. Big slap shot high off the glass. And it bounces all the way back into center ice. Here's Bork for Canada. Flips it in. Fetisov back to get it. Gilmore and Gardner crash him into the boards. And back come the Soviets. Emchinov moving in. Wrist shot. Glove save pure. Crossman with the puck for Canada. Canada moving out. Here's Messier to Howardchuk. Howardchuk cutting in. Howardchuk put it in front. off the skate of Milnikov. Krutov clears it away. And here's Homotop. Over onto the left side. Shot right on. Pure makes the save on Krutov. And then was able to freeze it. And we have some action here now in Montreal, folks.
And the crowd is waking up as well. There's Irving Brunman, former general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, watching this one and enjoying it, as are most of the fans who have seen Team Canada come to life. And I'll tell you what's brought them to life, quite a bit of it is putting Gilmour on the left wing on that line with Lemieux and Gardner. All of a sudden, things livened up. Gilmour got the goal. Gardner and Hartsburg the assists. He's a centerman, but somehow chemistry sometimes is a very funny thing, and he's gone on the left wing on this line, and it's just picked everybody up.
Here are the Soviets. Gusarov at the point. A shot that hits the base of the boards and then flipped right up over the glass. And the faceoff is going to be moved outside the blue line. Tikhonov has seen his team go from a 3-goal lead to now a 1-goal lead.
And in utter control of this game until a minute left in the second period, when a goal deflected, shot by goaltender Milnikov. Suddenly, Team Canada is a different-looking team.
Messier, Anderson, and Howard Chuck for Canada. Bourque and Crossman on defense, and this is Bourque. Canada trailing 4-3. Bourque to Crossman to Raymond Bourque. Flipping it in. Milnikov lets it go. Messier in to keep it onside on the play. Now Krutov dropping it back. Canada with 2 men in, forechecking. Anderson to Messier. He gets tied up. Krutov losing it. Back to Bourque. Shoots Milnikov to his knees to stop that. And then look at that action in front of the net. Messier and Gusarov get their sticks up, and Messier is going to get a penalty. Now over on the other side, Larionov has a hold of one of the Team Canada players. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Just gave Don Koharski, the referee, an earful. The penalty has gone to Messier for high sticking at the 4:23 mark. And Canada, with all of that momentum going, now is going to have to kill off a penalty. Spirited action. That's one way to describe it. Milnikov's down. Here comes the infamous elbow of Mark Messier. Gusarov paid the price on that one, and then he got away with the initial one, but I think the penalty was called on the rest of it.
So Canada will be short-handed. Soviets have 2 power play goals in this game. They lead 4-3. Bekov, Homotop, and Kamensky up front, with this man, Fetisov, along with Kasatonov, the point man. Fetisov giving it to Kasatonov. Now to Bekov, the little center iceman. He gives it to Kamensky. Fires it around in the boards. Kasatonov fired it in behind the net. Rochefort there, trying to clear it. Now Homotop to Bekov. Back to Fetisov. Shooting. Pure a save. And he wasn't sure where the rebound was. It was underneath him. And Grant Pure just smothered it.
Playing his position perfectly. I don't think he saw it, but the old line, let the puck hit you in this game. All kinds of traffic in front of you. You have to play your position perfectly. There's Fetisov leaning into it. With all that traffic in front, Pure was right there to make the save. A little contact after it as Rochefort came across. Well, they're running that screen pretty well. Rochefort took care of the traffic.
1 minute, 32 seconds left in Messier's penalty. Canada from the face-off with Gilmour breaking out. Gilmour giving it to Sutter. Sutter in across with Gilmour, but Gilmour was in ahead of the play offside. And the face-off will be at the Soviet blue line.
Well, the grinders, there aren't many of them left. The injury list growing, and all of them seem to be to the tough corner-type players that you need. But there's one who's hanging in there, Red Sutter.
Gilmour stays out there as a penalty killer along with Gardner. Crossman and Rochefort will be on defense. 1:25 left in the Messier penalty. 15:02 left in the third period. Soviets leading 4-3. Here's Gilmore against Semyonov. Semyonov gets it to Samak. They move in. Samak centering. Rochefort got a skate on it, then clears it out of there. Gardner hustling down against Fedotov. Gardner ties Fedotov up. In comes Gilmore. Gilmore at the side of the net. Doug Gilmore centering it right through the crease. Now Gardner coming up with the puck. Lost it at center ice. Now Rochefort came up and broke it up and then clears it down. Pervukin, number 5, back for the Soviets. To Semyonov. He lets it go, and Makarov had it for a moment. He's checked. And then Anderson held it against the boards with the Soviet player Pervukin. And we get a stoppage in play.
Well, some very tense moments. This crowd of 14,588 watching, along with the two coaches who are, I guess, looking about the way one would expect they would look. A little tense. In a one-goal hockey game in which the coach on the right knows that the team coached by the coach on the left is coming on.
Meanwhile, the task at hand, kill off the remaining 43 seconds of Mark Messier's penalty. Gardner back out there. Now with Howard Chuck for Canada. Rochefort on defense with Crossman. Larionov, Makarov, and Krutov up front for the Soviets. Here's Howard Chuck flipping one in. Fetisov back for the Soviets to Kasatonov, leaving it for Larionov. Headmanning to Makarov. Makarov. Gardner ties him up. Gardner does a good job. Comes up with the puck and clears it away. 15 seconds left in the penalty. This is Fetisov. Firing one up the middle to Makarov. Moving in. Gretzky there to tip it away. Held in by the Soviets. Now Messier is back on. Canada can't get it out of there, though. Here are the Soviets with Larionov. Into the corner on the other side. Makarov tied up by Murphy. And now here's Gretzky breaking out with Messier. Gretzky. And Krutov without a stick came back to make a big defensive play and break it up. Fetisov now for the Soviets. Trying to clear it across. Kasatonov to Humalep, number 8 at center ice. Humalep breaking in. Gilmore tied him up. And Canada then clear it, but not out. Paul Coffey going back. Round on the boards. Humalep into the corner to Nemchinov. Now getting help back of the goal from Priyakin. Big battle back there. Puck still loose, and Murphy comes up with it. Murphy trying to get it off the boards, and Doug Gilmore tipped it to center. Humalep has it there. Into Priyakin to Coffey. Knocked down, and Messier is there. Messier to Gretzky. Gretzky gets up in. Beats Messier. Into Goulet. Goulet cutting in. There's Goulet. Got it in front. Came right through the crease, and now out near the blue line. Still no. Flat on the ice. He was flattened by Messier on his way to the bench. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
There's a guy with a headache. Stelnoff just was leveled. Here he comes, Messier. There's the elbow. And Messier got up and kept on going. Stelnoff didn't. Good collision.
When Messier wants a line change, stay out of his road, fellas. He really decked him. Now a line of Lemieux, Goulet, and Tocchet for Canada. 4-3, the Soviets still leading. Here's Kamensky trying to clear it out. Now breaking out, it's Fedotov. 2-on-1 break. Fedotov shoots. Got wide on the short side. Here's Pervukin. Into the corner. Omalov centered one across. Comes to the point. Fedotov's drive, and Ura save. And it's cleared out by Murphy to Golay, who lets it go as he tipped it down the ice. But no top back after it. That's Tocchet in to hammer him into the boards. And the Soviets try and fire it back out and due to center ice. Bork, rink wide to Crossman to Tocchet, into Mario Lemieux. Verbuchen back, Lemieux steals it. Centered. This is Golay. Here's Murphy. Shoots one. That's blocked. Soviets break out 3-on-2. Here's Bekov. And a good play by Bork to break it up, and Canada clear it to center. And play is called. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Soviets have just picked up a penalty for too many men on the ice. They are not very good at changing on the fly. It's an area of their game that they say they like to work on a little bit. There are a couple of areas they're weak on. One of them is face-offs. The other is this sort of thing. And what happened was Kasatonov came off the bench and immediately touched the puck before the man coming off and heading for the bench had completed the change. So too many men, and the Soviets now will play shorthanded, and that guy is not happy at all. He's going to get his countrymen, the linesmen, to do some... Well, the translators are coming in. We're getting a real... Dmitriev, the assistant coach, Igor Dmitriev, speaks a little English. He's nodding. He understands it. In any case, Canada, having just killed off a penalty to themselves, are now going to get an opportunity to go on the power play.
11:23 remaining in regulation time. Kamensky heads to the penalty box. Too many men on the ice against the Soviets. So Kamensky will serve the penalty.
Here it is now. We'll see Kasatonov comes right off the bench right there and takes the puck. Now the other man is just heading for the bench. You see him? And that is the reason for the penalty. You can get on the ice, that's fine, but don't touch the puck until the other guy's off.
Canada 1 for 6 on the power play in this game. With a chance here with 11:23 to play. Mike Keenan sending over gunners like Messier, Lemieux, and Gretzky up front. Coffey and Bork will be the point men. Bekov and Homatov up front for the Soviets, with Kasatonov and Fetisov, as you might guess, back on defense. Canada trailing by a goal, and on the power play, here's Messier to Bork. Bork carrying in to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux hits the side of the net. Lemieux again in front to Gretzky, fanned on it in the slot. Now Coffey at the point, into Lemieux. Lemieux behind Gretzky. Gretzky centered, Messier scores!
No goal.
No goal! They really kicked it in, and Koharski disallows it.
I don't think there's much doubt about it when you see the replay. Messier's there, and he certainly redirected it. Gretzky saying, well, he was falling away. Shades of the other night when Anderson scored and what would have been the tying goal against the Czechoslovak team. Now watch it as it comes in front. And that big guy in front of him there kind of covered it up for us. But
I think more than anything, he directed it in rather than kicked it in, and that's the same thing, and they disallow it.
Game's meant to be played with sticks. Koharski making another tough call in this game. Got a few guys grumbling on the bench and behind it.
Still 1:30 left in the Soviet penalty.
What a game this has turned out to be.
You just don't see hockey any better than this. Face-off, Messier, Lemieux, and Gretzky up front. Face-off at the Soviet blue line. Here is Bork scooping it in. Digging in is Paul Coffey. Now to Mario Lemieux. Back of the net to Gretzky. Gretzky in front to Lemieux. He missed it. Bork shoots just off the glove of Milnikov and then wide. Copy to Gretzky. Gretzky in front to Lemieux, but tipped away by the Soviets. And they break out. Makarov with Krutov. Copy gets back. Krutov moving in and Copy upended him. And Fuhr fires it up to Lemieux. Now to Bourque to Messier. Into Gretzky. Gretzky to Lemieux. Shoots. Big block there by Fedotov, the young defenseman. Back to Copy at the point. Copy to Lemieux. Lemieux back to Copy. Shooting glove save. Milnikov. And he held on to it. And then Messier gets knocked in the seat of his pants in front of the net.
That was Gusarov who nailed Messier from behind after the whistle had gone. The thing that was important in that whole sequence was the fact that Milnikov had the lane. He could see the shot coming in from the blue line with no Team Canada players in front. So on the fake shot, comes back to the point. Look at the clear path. Gretzky upset. Broke his stick over the top of the net. They're getting the chances, Team Canada. Again, as the pass back is made by Lemieux. Here's the shot by Copy. And here's the reaction by Gretzky.
Still 42 seconds left in the Soviet penalty. Gretzky and Copy over at the Team Canada bench catching their breath. Keenan would like to leave him out there. And there you see Stelnov, who was injured earlier.
That was perhaps on the Messier check. Seems to be in some difficulty. I don't know whether he'd been back on the ice or whether he's just trying to shake it off on the bench and has been unable to. Notice he caught his trainer off guard because the door was locked.
Still 42 seconds left in the penalty.
Nice long delay here has helped the Team Canada players in the power play. They fully rested.
We'll switch to Hamilton no matter what happens tonight for Game 2. On Sunday, you'll see it here on CTV at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Semyonov and Messier. Messier gets the draw. Gretzky a quick shot wide. Now Messier trying to chop it in front, and it's caught by Milnikov. And the Soviet goaltender held on to it.
Well, there's Gretzky getting a shot away, and I don't know how he did it. It looked like he was completely tied up, and he didn't miss the net by much when he let that go. Right off a face-off. He was the one that was redirecting everybody and changing the face-off alignment. But he seemed to be tied up. Suddenly there comes the shot.
There you see the time remaining. 9:59. 36 seconds left in the Soviets' penalty. Semyonov on Messier. Messier gets the draw to Lemieux. To Copy. Over to Gretzky. Back to Copy. Into Lemieux. Put it in front. Milnikov cleared it. Fetisov tried to get it out. Copy to Lemieux. To Gretzky. Gretzky backhander shot it just wide. Now Bourque to Gretzky. Gretzky in the corner. Chopped it behind the net. Kasatonov able to clear it out of there. And Copy goes back to pick it up. Now here's Messier to Copy. Penalized player back on for the Soviets. Copy into the corner. Knocked Fetisov down. Now Gretzky coming up with it. Wayne Gretzky out near the blue line. Slid it in. Soviets break out. 4-on-2. Here's Kamensky. To Kasatonov with a shot just wide. Oh, that was a dangerous rush. Now Semyonov for the Soviets. Shoots. Fuhr a glove save on that. And he held on. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Pressure's on that young man in this period. He's had to deal with some 2-on-1s. This was a 4-on-2, and finally Semyonov let the shot go. And there was Fuhr with that glove hand of his, which is just one of the weapons in his arsenal.
8:59 left in regulation time. Howard Chuck winning a face-off, but Homatop knocks it behind the Canadian goal. Rochefort there. Homatop tied him up. Crossman able to poke it near the line, but held in. Now Crossman again flips it into center ice, and Fedotov gives it to Bekov. Back off for the Soviets into Homatov. Homatov, cross ice to Verbuchen. Soviets, Bekov couldn't hold it in, and here's Golы to Glenn Anderson. Anderson cutting in, trying to center. Knocked into the corner by the Soviets and cleared. Rossman held it in. His shot deflects wide. Now, back of the net, here's Howardchuk. Howardchuk trying to get it in front. Howardchuk does have it. And then it's cleared by the Soviets down the ice. And Pure comes out of the net to beat Kamensky to it. Grant Pure giving it to Doug Crossman. Less than 8 minutes to play in the third period. Puck cleared in by Canada. They rule that the Soviets could have played it. Fetisov quickly firing it back out, and here's Larionov. Larionov over to Gusarov, who carries in. Now centered. Here's Larionov, checked by Mario Lemieux. Lemieux breaks up with Doug Gilmour. Lemieux cutting in, trying to get it to Gilmour. He was upended in front of the net. Now behind the goal. Fetisov trying to break it out of there. Gilmour after him. And Fetisov able to flip it to center to Makarov. Makarov to Krutov, moves in. Big save, Pure just got a piece of it with a stick. Back comes Gilmour to Coffey. Paul Coffey for Canada. Over to Gardtner, shoots off the shoulder of Milnikov. Makarov back for the Soviets. To Larionov, to Makarov. Coffey was there to knock it away. And here's Mike Gardtner. Gardtner firing it out, hits Brent Sutter. Sutter clears to Prop. Now to Gardtner. Gardtner cutting in. Never got the shot off. Prop into the corner, can't get it. And back comes the Soviet player, Pryakin. Pryakin upended on a good play at the blue line by Tocchet. And here comes Sutter. Sutter for Canada, shoots. Milnikov, a stick save. Now Sutter behind the net. Can't get it in front. And Pryakin feeds it into center ice. Kumalap couldn't get around Bork. Crossman takes over for Canada. 6:12 to play. Soviets lead 4-3. Crossman stick handling through. Broken up and fired back out by Verbuchen. Here's Bork for Canada to Tocchet, tipped in and shot back out by the Soviets. Bork hustling back, and that will be icing as Ray Bork touches the puck. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
There's the time left in regulation time. We could have overtime. It's part of the playoff rounds of the Canada Cup tournament. The overtime format. Sudden death, much a possibility in this game, and I don't think with about a minute and a half left in the second period, too many fans were thinking that Canada could come back in this.
Canada with Messier, Anderson, and Howardchuk up front. Murphy and Coffey, the point men. Here's Messier, now centered through the crease by Anderson. Coffey shoots! Milnikov juggled it, dropped it, but then dove out to cover up on it.
See Anderson and Howardchuk dive into that goalmouth area looking for anything that might be loose. You see how hungry they are right now. Coffey let a great shot go. Again, the Soviets had managed to clear the area in front of the net so the goaltender could see it. But then watch the aftermath of it as both Anderson, Howardchuk come barreling in there. Gusarov right with Anderson.
Here's Messier against Bekov on the faceoff. 5:46 remaining. 4-3, the Soviets leading.
Interesting, the Soviets have Bekov out there. Now he's been tossed. Well, there may be an advantage.
Homatov steps in to take the draw and wins it and is able to clear it out of there. Kamensky racing after it, but Coffey knocks it back for Murphy. Murphy into center ice to Anderson, back to Murphy. Murphy fired it to Coffey. It's tipped in, and Verbuchen takes over for the Soviets, just shooting it back out. Soviets trying to protect the one-goal lead. Here's Messier into Anderson. Juki scores! Glenn Anderson ties this game up.
Usarov, number 3. Here he is. Well, from a very quiet Montreal Forum, the place has turned into bedlam. There's a great wrist shot.
Glenn Anderson's second goal of this tournament. And Canada comes back to tie it. 14:39 the tie. Messier gets an assist. As does Larry Murphy. 4-4. And we're down to 5:11 to play. Soviets at one time had a 4-1 lead. Here's Mario Lemieux clipping it in. Gretzky races in. Now Crossman at the point. Shoots one. That's high off the glass. Gretzky over to get it. Gretzky centered. Golly! Shot right on, and Milnikov made the save and then froze it. And Goulet just about gave Canada the lead. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
That's Michel Goulet, who was just absolutely robbed. He was shaking his head. Look at the play, and look at this chance. Boom! Give Milnikov full marks.
Now Messier, Anderson, and Howard Chuck. 4:54 left in regulation time. Here's Anderson trying to get it in front. Now Howard Chuck does get it in front, but Krutov is there for the Soviets and flips it to center. Makarov racing after it. Now Howard Chuck intercepting. Howard Chuck racing in. He's taken out by Fetisov. Now Anderson knocking it back of the net. Kasatonov to Fetisov. Soviets clear it, and here's Larionov. 3-on-2, Soviet break. To Krutov, to Makarov, to Larionov, centered. Pure diving, sensational save, and Canada storm back. Howard Chuck fires it in. Fetisov is there. And Fetisov clearing one. Comes all the way to center. Murphy back to get it. Over to Coffey. 4 minutes left in regulation time. Coffey speeding in. Coffey centered. Gilmore in front, can't get a shot off. Soviets come back. 2-on-2 break. Shot and a save by Pure. Cleared into the corner, and Gilmore able to feed it into center ice. Fedotov to Perbukin. Shot back in. Doug Gilmore, number 28. Feeding Sutter. Tipped down the ice. And then fired out by Milnikov, the goaltender. Priakin, checked by Gilmore. And Fedotov has to circle back. Now the Soviets with Perbukin into the Team Canada zone. A long shot. Pure handles that. Here's Priakin. Upended by Bork on the play. Here's Bork for Canada. Flips it in. Pocket digging in. Now Bork at the point. Shoots wide. Gretzky the rebound. He scores! Wayne Gretzky for Canada!
Now look at the happy people. Neither is he. Wayne Gretzky has that ability to be where the puck comes. He didn't even get a very good shot away. Looked like it went off the heel of his stick.
And off the skate of Milnikov.
Nothing kind of a shot. But Gretzky was where the puck was. And Milnikov was surprised, and it just got across the line. 5-4 Canada, Canada's 4th straight goal.
17:01 the time, and there's number 99 from the Edmonton Oilers. Bork gets an assist. Gretzky from Bork to scoring play. Canada leading 5-4 4. Remember, they trailed at one time, 4-1. Now Kaminsky, as the Soviets will go on some offense. Trying to flip it in. Bork is there to clear it out. Goulet loses to Bekov. Bekov stick handling in. Beating it through. Omatov a shot. You're got a piece of that. Here's Bekov. Gretzky trying to tie him up. Bekov centered. Out in front, they score! And the Soviets come back to tie this game up. A similar goal that Gretzky just scored on a pass out that was just tipped in, and I think it was Homatov without the helmet who got a stick on it.
Well, either that or it hit him. There's a big traffic jam in front of the net now. Watch off to the right of the net as we look at it. The puck just came out in front, and it may have hit a Team Canada defenseman who was right in front of the net. That's Bork. Jammed up in front of the net, and I think it went off his skate. We'll see how they score it, but we've got a 5-5 tie now.
Now they announce it as Homatov.
Assisted by number 27,
Homatov from Bekov, the scoring play. 17:33. It's tied 5-5.
32 seconds apart for the goal. Gretzky from Bork at 17:01, then Homatov.
Hold on to your hat here. Canada dump it in. 2:18 left in regulation time. Fired out to center. Picked up by Semyonov. He moves in. Backhander. Fuhr makes a save on the short side. Didn't know where it was for a moment. Now finds it and throws it to the linesman.
Caught up underneath his blocker. And that presents a key face-off down in the Team Canada zone with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in regulation time. Should there be overtime, we will have an intermission. And then 20 minutes. Sudden death.
Well, we've seen some classics between the Soviets and Canada, and we're seeing one here tonight.
This ranks. This one is just incredible.
2:07 to play. Semyonov against Lemieux. Semyonov into the corner, but tied up by Bork, who flips it around. And Crossman breaks out for Canada. Crossman scooping it in. Goulet charging in after it. Takes his man out. Semyonov trying to clear it. Bork held it in. Gets it to Lemieux. Now to Goulet. For Buchan. Center to Lemieux. Shoots. Oh, Milnikov got the left hand out in a flash there. And that's a game saver.
Oh, that one was labeled too, but he didn't get the kind of wood he wanted on it. It wasn't a hard shot. A difficult shot to hand by Goulet. There's the shot. Gardner waiting for anything that might be left over. He knew where he was shooting it. May have liked to get it a little higher.
Face off deep in the Soviets' end of the rink. Larionov against Messier. Messier tried to whack it in. It's Fetisov tied up on the play by Howardchuk now. To Anderson. Centered in front. Makarov there to pick it off for the Soviets. 1.5 minutes left in regulation time. Krutov into Larionov. Shooting. Got it just wide. Crossman flipping it out onto the wing. And it's Anderson shooting it to center ice. Homatov cleared it back in. Here's Crossman to Dale Howardchuk. Tipped in. Kasatonov there to feed it to Larionov. Now at center, Makarov misses it. And going back is Paul Coffey. Just fired it to center. We're on the final minute of the third period. Soviets on the attack. Here's Krutov to Bekov, and that shot off Larry Murphy up into the crowd. 52 seconds left in regulation time.
Well, as this game has unfolded, we've begun to see some players start to really play well for Team Canada who had not shone in this tournament. Obviously, Doug Gilmour hadn't been given much of a chance. He hadn't played that much, but Larry Murphy's played a pretty good third period here. He's started to come along. As we look behind the Team Canada bench to the coaches with 52 seconds left in regulation time.
face-off in Canada's end of the ring. Bekop will take it against Brent Sutter. And Sutter wins it to Coffey. Around to Murphy, but Coffey picks it up and Gretzky feeds it out of there. Here's Brent Sutter breaking to center. Scoops it in. Pervukin back for the Soviets. Shot it back out. Gretzky fires it right back in. Now Pervukin trying to clear it. Here's Lemieux to Gretzky behind the net. Gretzky back to Murphy. Murphy centered. Lemieux was there. Couldn't get a stick on it. 25 seconds left in regulation time. Soviets. Bekop breaking out. Bekop moving in. Shoots. Pure a save. Murphy the rebound. And he cleared it away. Lemieux behind the net with 12 seconds left. To Coffey. Held in by Padota. He centered one, but Kamensky had been knocked down in the play. And now Lemieux, with 3 seconds left, clears it to center. And we are going to have sudden death overtime to decide a winner here. After regulation time, it is Canada 5, the Soviet Union 5.
Only once before in the history of the Soviet national team have they been in overtime. And I include all of their world championships. They don't play overtime in those tournaments. They don't play overtime in international hockey. Only once before, and that was the infamous game during the Canada Cup 1984 when Mike Bossy deflected a shot by Paul Coffey into the net at 12:29 of overtime in a game of... And these are the guys that now are under the gun. Fjord at one end of the ice, and at the other end of the ice, Milnikov. And again, we have to say that while Team Canada, it's a regular course of things in playoffs for Canadian hockey players to go into overtime. Even in the regulation, in the regular season now for the Soviets, this is just the second time in their history. It is not played in their league, it is not played in their playoffs, and it's not played in world and international hockey. So if there, you want an edge, and I tell you, there wasn't much of an edge in the last game. It was Team Canada's experience in this department, something Brad so eloquently put during the intermission.
We are ready for sudden death. Messier, Anderson, and Howardchuk up front for Canada against the Larionov, Makarov, Krutov line for the Soviet Union. The Soviets 5, Canada 5. Game 1 of a best-of-3 series for the Canada Cup, and we're underway with overtime. Fetisov going back to pick it up. In there forechecking is Anderson. Howardchuk comes up with it to Messier. Partially fanned on it and it rolled off to the corner. And here's Krutov to Makarov, but breaking that up was Bork. Shot up the ice. Here's Fetisov to Krutov. Bork back, gives it to Crossman. Quickly out on the boards to Anderson. To Messier. Breaking in with Howardchuk. Howardchuk picks it up. Shoots one. Bouncing and blocked at the defense by Kasatonov. Fetisov trying to clear it, and here's Makarov. Being hounded at center ice by Anderson. Makarov back to get it. Into center to Krutov. Back to Kasatonov. Kasatonov, long shot. Stick save. Pure. And it deflects up into the crowd here in Montreal.
Well, one thing's noticeable. Team Canada is going to keep the shifts short. Well, the Soviets had kept Makarov out on the ice along with his line mates. Canada had headed for the bench and put fresh legs on. And also, it's clear that they're going to try and keep the game down on the Soviet end as long as possible, and they were really hemming them in just with a solid and aggressive forechecking style.
All the pressure on those two guys, Pure and Milnikov. Bekop wins a face-off. Kamensky banned on his shot. And here's Gretzky breaking out with Goulet and Murphy. Gretzky centers to Coffey, shooting, and that deflects and trickled in front of the net. Bekop right back for the Soviets. Bekop with a backhander. Pure, a stick save there. Bekop in the corner, couldn't get it, and Gretzky feeds Murphy. Larry Murphy for Canada. Long shot high off the glass. Soviets trying to clear it out in a hurry. Brent Sutter trying to hold it in. And now it is Homatov at center ice to Bekop. Bekop moving into Kamensky. Just off the end of his stick. Canada with Doug Gilmour. Clearing it to Sutter. Kasatonov is there to pick it up. Now to Beckhoff. He fires it in. Rochefort back for Canada. Rochefort firing it around on the boards. Digging in is Gardner. Gardner behind the net to Mario Lemieux. Center to Gilmour. Gilmour couldn't get the shot off. And then Gilmour gets taken out of the play. Soviets trying to clear it. Held in. Here's Lemieux in the corner. Lemieux centered. And Semak intercepts that. And feeds it to Lomakin. Lomakin against Rochefort, who takes him out of the play. And Rochefort over to get the loose puck. Trying to scoop it out of there, and he flipped it on his backhand over the glass and into the crowd.
Well, the ships are 30 seconds long for Team Canada. That line was out there for the Soviet Union for the whole ship. Canada had 2 line changes during that shift. So they are definitely trying to keep fresh legs on the ice, try and take advantage of perhaps a tired ship for the Soviet Union. Gilmour got a pass from behind the net here. This is Mario Lemieux. Always in on it. The puck deflected off a skate, wound up right at the side of the net, but then he just simply couldn't corral it, tee it up, and get a shot away at that point. Melnikov had come over to cover the corner.
Messier winning a face-off around to Howard Chuck. That's Priyakin pinching in to hold it in, but Canada clear it. And Fedotov goes back to pick it up. Number 14, Fedotov. Held in by Howard Chuck. Now Canada with Anderson. Fedotov trying to clear it. Crossman tried to hold it in, but it's cleared by the Soviets. And Messier is back for Canada. To Bork. Trying to clear it to Anderson. That's Nemchinov intercepting. Comes back to Canada's blue line with Bork controlling. Raymond Bork ahead for Howard Chuck. Batisov back for the Soviet Union. Flipping one. Here's Nemchinov. Got it to center. Crossman knocks it down. Tipped it in for Anderson. Canada change again on the fly. And now the Soviets follow suit. Here's Makarov. Trying to shoot it in. Coffey back for Canada. Coffey flipping it into center ice. Intercepting it there. Gusarov to Larionov. Now into Makarov. In behind Coffey. Makarov shoots. Big save. Pure rebound. Larionov is stopped by Coffey. And that's the best chance yet for either team. First it was Pure and then Coffey with big blocks. Canada holding it in. Gusarov is there. Now Goulet for Canada. Larionov breaks up with Krutov. Larionov moving in. Shoots one. Oh, Pure just got a piece of that and then it ricocheted up. Here comes Gretzky for Canada. Gretzky circling to get away from Homatov. Gretzky flipping it in. That's Gusarov back to get it. He's not flying. And Beckhoff, number 27, comes to center. Beckhoff trying to flip it through. Rochefort there to knock it away. And then Brent Sutter shoots it up. Kasatonov beating one up to Homatov. Into Beckhoff. That shot blocked. And Rochefort for Canada clears to center ice. Kasatonov lost it to Doug Gilmour. Gilmour for Canada. Passing to Gardner. Gardner back to Gilmour. Gilmour cutting in. Number 28, Gilmour centered it off the skate of Fedotov. And then Gardner ran into the Soviet goal and knocked it loose, and we get a stoppage.
Well, that Gilmour has been an act unto himself. And from the point where they put him on the left wing on that line, he is, in my mind, the #1 Team Canada player because things seem to happen with him. Grant Fuhr, after a mistake by Coffey in the center ice zone, Grant Fuhr had to make one save, deal with Krutov right in front of the net off the Makarov save, and now here comes the other line mate. As it was the guy who made the mistake that started that sequence who got back in and blocked the Larionov shot, and then he got another one. And this one, he seemed to try to snap it out of midair, and it went off his glove. It seemed to drop on him a little bit, but fortunately it went off the right part of his glove and upwards rather than downwards.
Sudden death overtime. Canada and the Soviets. Here is Lomakin after a loose puck. Bork is there to clear it away. Dale Howard Chuck couldn't get it, and here's Batisov. Batisov to Lomakin, misses him. And Crossman goes back for Canada. Passing it ahead for Anderson. Anderson stick handling in. Anderson shot into the corner to Howardchuk. Trying to get it in front. Knocked away, and Fetisov has it for the Soviets. Fetisov into center ice. To Lomakin. Samyonov to Semak. He scores! Semak into the top corner. And the Soviets win in overtime. 6-5. Alexander Semak with the winning goal.
What a great shot by Semak. Picking the top corner on the glove side, but a great play coming out, the strength of Fetisov, and then he looked one way, gave the pass the other. Now Semak will get the pass over the line. They just slip it through, and here's the shot. Right off the crossbar and in to end what has been just a classic hockey game.
Semak, who's normally a center, moved to right wing because of the injury to Svetlov, and he proves to be the hero of the night for the Soviets.
Semyonov with that play in his skates as he seemed to corral the puck beautifully and then give it to Semak. Boy, what a shot, though. Just nothing that Fuhr could do at all. Hate to see a team lose. The Soviets have won this one, but this series is far from being over. Team Canada plays a full 60 minutes like they played the final 30 minutes of regulation time in the first 5 minutes of this, and they can beat the Soviets on most nights.
Semak with the winning goal, and the Soviets lead this best-of-3 series 1-0. Game 2 coming up at the Cup-87 in Hamilton on Sunday night. And we are momentarily going to go to the ice surface and our post-game ceremonies.
Mesdames et messieurs, voici maintenant les joueurs Labatt du match de ce soir. Here are tonight's Labatt's players of the game. Pour faire la présentation, le directeur de la publicité pour la compagnie Canon Camera, Miss Mary Mulder. Et représentant la brasserie Labatt Limité, le directeur des ventes, M. Rodrigue Goulet. Le joueur du match pour l'équipe de l'Union soviétique, player of the game for the Soviet Union team, le numéro 9, number 9, Vladimir Krutov. Il reçoit une caméra Canon EOS. Le joueur du match pour l'équipe Canada recevra un ensemble complet de 12 pièces de monnaie olympique 1988, courtoisie de Canadian Tire. Player of the game for Team Canada, le numéro 12, number 12, Mike Gardtner. Mesdames et messieurs, nous vous remercions d'être venus au Forum ce soir.
So the Soviet Union wins 6-5. Semak, the winning goal at 5:33 of